Wrestling is one of those things where like you have to kind of just like know that like it's socially not okay to say some things. But when you're in a wrestling standpoint, like you saying something like when Matt Hardy was like, "And Lita, you whore," like it got such a good reaction. Like if you've never seen that whole run in, you should go watch that. That's insane. But like the real moments are what people remember. Like the matches and stuff will come and go. Like you know how many matches probably had to have happened in like the 60s and 70s that nobody talks about anymore because nobody had seen them.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah, I think about all of WWE's records that they're trying to like erase. Like Bruno,
Dude,
name a Bruno match.
That's what I was literally just about to say. Like I can't think of one Bruno Sammartino match. Like I'm sure there's a bunch of bangers out there, but I just never.
I'm sure. Not for me though.
Like you even look at like Hulk Hogan, dude. Like the biggest match that people think of with Hulk Hogan was him and Andre. Like that's the one match that people.
Yeah, thank God that's recent, huh?
Yeah, dude, that one's so recent. The Silverdome doesn't exist anymore.
R.I.P. And even still, again, hello, non-wrestler. The match itself really isn't that great. What the people remember is the body slam.
Yeah,
that's the moment.
The spot that everybody remembers was Andre. And I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary on it. It's a pretty solid documentary. Where Hogan
take credit for all that stuff too.
We'll get to that one.
where Hogan's talking about what Andre was saying in the ring when it happened, and he goes slam, and he hits him with the slam, and then he said he yelled leg drop at him, and that was how he figured out what the finish was he was hitting the slam and the leg drop, and Hulk Hogan tore every single muscle in his back lifting Andre the Giant too. Like it's such an impactful moment in wrestling history because it was the first time Andre had ever been slammed.
Yeah.
So like you build to those types of moments and people remember it. Like people remember the Goldberg losing for the first time, you know, like everyone knows Undertaker's streak being snapped. You know, we all know, like, it's the moments of it. I can't tell you 80% of the matches that The Undertaker had during his undefeated streak, but I can definitely tell you the one that stopped it. You know?
Yeah.
And the fact that he was concussed for 90% of that match and can't even remember it is still insane to me as well.
Honestly,
when you watch it back, you can tell.
It's a testament to Brock Lesnar too. As much hate as like Brock gets and stuff, obviously lately he's gotten a lot of hate. Like the dude is an incredible good worker. Like just insanely talented.
I didn't think that for the longest time, obviously because I'm a younger wrestling fan, of course, and I'm just like, oh, Brock Lesnar, he just beats John Cena in 2 minutes without getting any sort of offense taken on him. But then recently, once WWE started doing those for the Survivor Series, sort of like Survivor Series bragging rights sort of hybrid pay-per-views, where it was the Universal Champ and the WWE Champ, when he was able to go up against
Finn,
Daniel Bryan, Finn, AJ, the smaller guys. He's put on fucking clinics.
He's insanely good at wrestling guys that are smaller than him. And that's a testament, because in wrestling, that's very, very hard to do. Because like you have to know what you can bump for, what makes sense, what doesn't. Like I run into it sometimes because I'm so damn tall. Like I'll go out there and I'm wrestling some dude who's like 5'8", and like not that big. He's just like kind of like a skinny 5'8", and I'm like, all right, let's make this make sense, dude. Like you're gonna work this, do this. Like, and Brock is genuine. Like Brock's match with Daniel Bryan might be one of the greatest matches I've ever seen.
It's
genuinely,
so
like
it really
his
is.
match with Finn Balor was one of the best matches that year, hands down. Like it's insane, and as much as people shit on him and Roman had some insanely good matches.
Well, I think that's because he forced Roman to actually use a move, use a move set,
step his game,
and that was the one thing. I mean, you know, again, with Vince being gone, It went from like, his stuff towards the end was, instead of just being Brock, the guy that throws people the fuck around, when he's done that to every single big guy, all of a sudden he has to work with the real workhorses and the people that put on those clinics. And that's when you're like, wow, we get to watch Brock be Brock, not Brock
Exactly.
be the Beast.
Yeah, man.
Thank
and like
God.
it's so much better when you get, because at the end of the day, like, I get it. He's an absolute freak of fucking nature. Genuinely. The dude on paper should not be possible. Like, his existence shouldn't be no one should be 6'3", 300 pounds and be able to move that quickly.
McAfee calls him a 1-1 for a reason.
Yeah, dude, he's legitimately, in my opinion, Brock Lesnar goes down in history as one of the greatest athletes of all time. Like, dude is insane. He was an insane wrestler in his college days. He was good enough to try out in the NFL. Like, if he may not have made it, but like, to be able to like be in an NFL jersey for any form of time, like, you're way better than your average bear. Like, you just are. And then, like, people talk about, like, his debut in WWE was absolutely fucking insane. Him just ragdolling everybody, just murdering Spike Dudley with 3 power bombs.
Oh,
and his trap ate his entire head. Like, the dude was just jacked out of his goddamn mind. It was insane.
Yeah.
And then he goes away, wins UFC gold, which no one expected former WWE guy.
That's where I realized how powerful he was. Because, I mean, Shane Carwin wasn't really that big of a name in UFC, but watching him freight train a professional fighter and literally just bulldog him against the cage, I was like, what the fuck?
He jumped his ass.
And people tried to write him off after Frank Mir tapped him. And like, people forget that Frank Mir is like a legitimately top tier.
Yeah, he was a legend at
artist.
that point already.
Yeah, the dude, and especially a legend in jiu-jitsu. Like,
a legend that almost died, came back, and got better.
Yeah. and Brock Lesnar going in there with no professional fights or anything, just goes in there with Frank Mir, gets tapped out. All right. Comes back, absolutely fucking mauls him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like, you could say what you want. Who he is as a person or whatever like that. Like, dude is an absolute freak of fucking nature. There's not many people who can go and just like go into a sport and just be like, yeah, I think I'll be good at this.
I'm gonna do this one now.
Yeah,
it's a burden I'm willing to bear.
Dude, it makes me so mad. Like, this dude's just so gifted that he just walked into the UFC and was like, I think I'll be your heavyweight champ for a while.
Yeah, I think I'll just punch that guy in the face.
Yeah, and people try and give him shit because he lost to Cain Velasquez. I'm like, dude, Cain Velasquez is like one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Yeah, like these losses that he's taking, it's like, dude, yeah, you get your ass kicked too. Like,
well, and then you saw Cain try and come to the WWE, and he has the personality of a dead yak.
Yeah, they only put him on the Saudi shows.
It doesn't go both ways for everybody.
If Cain Velasquez showed half the personality he did while he was chasing down that one dude shooting at him and getting arrested, he probably would have fucking made it in the WWE.
I would have watched that. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just saying, I would have fucking watched that. Dude, if there was a GoPro in that car, I would have fucking paid good. I would have paid good top money to watch that. That's a pay-per-view right there.
All of Cain Velasquez's promos are done through a body cam. Turns out.
Fuck it, I'm sold.
Also, the whole Cain Velasquez thing. I think he was like, wasn't he like chasing somebody that was like had like raped his daughter? Like, his like.
It was super serious.
It was like I was like, when all the details came out, I was like, yo, I would have fucking chased the dude too. Fuck that.
Oh yeah,
I would have done the same thing.
And Cain Velasquez is not a man I want
chasing me.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Not only is Cain Velasquez mad at you and he can kill you with his hands, now he has a weapon and he's chasing you.
Well. No thanks.
Dude,
yeah, I'm turning myself
straight to the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Aaron, that's a good point. I would have called 911 on myself because prison would be safer at that point.
Yeah. I'd be like, please, I need help.
Please.
I'd be in protective custody before this guy fucking ends my life and I wind up in a grave, dude.
I'll go to jail. That sounds great.
He was chasing that guy just as hard as the Saudi prince was chasing him. Goddamn.
Yeah, facts though. Fucking yo, that Saudi prince, dude. I want him to want me to come over to Saudi Arabia.
Please,
make it happen.
Pay me fucking trillions of dollars, and I can go home and fucking never wrestle again.
Well, you might get to go home. That's the problem.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'll hold you on the tarmac for a couple hours.
The plane needed service. Who to do? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude, that whole thing was sketched out. I was like, yo, if I was on that flight, you ever heard the total side note? You ever heard? We were just talking about the UFC, or maybe you're thinking of it. You ever heard the story about Robbie Lawler? It was like during the pandemic, they were doing a fight, and there was all the protests were happening and stuff at the time, and they started like protesting around a UFC bus that was going to like the weigh-ins or whatever, and Robbie Lawler was on it, and like everybody was like kind of freaking out, like what are we gonna do? And Robbie Lawler apparently was like calm as fuck, and he just goes, everybody just stay calm, we'll need our energy if they get in here. And I was like, I was like, that is the scariest thing. I would, dude. If I was a UFC, if I was the guy that was scheduled to fight Robbie Lawler that weekend, I'm fucking pulling out, dude. I'm gonna be like, yo, this guy wanted to murder these people. I'm good, dude. Like, I'm solid.
This guy needs.
And also, dude, shout out these protesters for fucking banging on a UFC bus. Like,
you know who I'm not gonna piss off?
UFC assassins, dude. These motherfuckers are modern day ninjas, dude.
Ooh, there goes a bus full of samurai. Let's go kick that hornet's nest real quick.
Yeah,
genius idea, Billy.
Let's go pick a fight with those guys. They look like they could only rearrange my skull.
Well, that's and you know, dude. I know he's kind of a dickbag in the wrestling circle, but that one time where somebody tried to like fuck with Austin Aries after a show, and he just beat the absolute piss out of him.
I'll say this with Austin Aries. I met him recently. He was on a show with me, and he was nothing but sweet to me. He was nothing but kind. I truly don't know like why he gets all the hate. I don't know like the whole reason. I'm sure it's a good reason. You know, like everything. There's a good reason.
Right.
But he was super sweet to me. But I do remember when somebody tried to fight. I remember somebody tried to fight Seth Rollins. I'm like, dude, Seth Rollins is like trained in Muay Thai or some shit.
Yeah. Well, and Austin Aries just literally elbowed the dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. Although, if you guys missed it, by the way, we are recording during Raw. He was straight up Elton John out there in the ring a couple minutes ago, and he looked like he was going to sing Piano Man.
He be wearing some shit where I'm like, Seth, what are we doing? Like, come on, fella. Can we just like? Is it weird to just wear jeans? Like, is that an odd thing to do?
For a normal person, no. For Seth Rollins, yes.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins be coming out looking like he came straight out the Vatican sometimes. I'm like, what are you dressed in, priest? What is this?
Drag queens are looking at him going, what the fuck are you wearing?
Dude, I will say, dude, drag queens are jealous of Seth Rollins' work.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Dude, and to be honest, as much as I'm talking shit, I'm jealous of his wardrobe, because some of them jackets look like they're comfy as a motherfucker, dude.
Oh, yeah. Dude, some of them are big and puffy.
That big pink one he wore at 39 to fight Logan Paul, I want to, like, drop my house down to 50 degrees and just sleep in it. That looks so warm and so comfortable.
Listen, I was at WrestleMania 40. I was cold. Rollins was warm.
Yo, where was WrestleMania 40 at? Remind me.
It was in Philly.
Oh, yeah. That was what? That was last year, right?
Yeah, it was over at
it was April.
It was in April.
A couple months ago.
Couple months.
Man, dude, I get hit in the head a lot. I'm trying to. I was like, I was in Philly for WrestleMania. Oh, that's why I was in Philly for WrestleMania.
Wait, where are you at? Where are you at in Philly?
Yeah. Well, it was technically New Jersey, but it was like right over the border as Williamstown.
Yeah, where? I'm from
so
Jersey.
It was like Williamstown, New Jersey. I think is what it's called. It's
There's a Williamstown.
H2O. H2O is where I was at. They was at their building, and that's in Williamstown.
Okay.
I'd go there. I'm literally go there maybe twice every 2 months or something like that. Like I'm there often.
Ah, shit! I gotta get that one on the list. I gotta get that one on
There
the
you
list.
go. All right. Now, I know, Era, you were reading off some Twitter questions here. I found another question as well from @Zachman and then a bunch of numbers. What was the first thing you saw in the world of wrestling? What got you into wrestling? Sort of along that vein.
So it's actually going to be the first thing I can remember of seeing wrestling. My dad was a firefighter, and on his jacket he had this little. It was like a finger puppet of either Stone Cold or Goldberg. I think it was Stone Cold. But it was just this little finger puppet thing. And then I remember one time, like, he went into a fire and it got like really fucked up and burned. And we ended up having it was like my birthday party or something. And they got me another cake of a wrestling cake. And it had the finger puppets, and I gave my dad the Stone Cold one and I kept the other one. So that's like my first memory of wrestling. My first memory where I was like, I'm gonna be a pro wrestler. I tell this one all the time because it's one of my favorite stories of mine. I was on deployment. It was, God, it had to be like late 2015 because it was Survivor Series was on. And it was the Survivor Series where Sheamus cashed in his money in the bank on Roman in the confetti.
Okay.
And I was back on ship. It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning because we're on the other side of the world or whatever. And I walk up and I'm just getting like a midnight snack or like one final thing before I go to bed. And they always had like shit on multiple TVs. They had Survivor Series going, and I was like, oh, I'll just watch this one then. I'm sitting there and I got so into the match. And I was like, oh, cool, Roman won. I was a big Roman guy and all that. I was like, Roman won. And then Sheamus comes out and cashed in. And I remember losing my fucking shit, dude. I was like, oh, kick out. And he didn't kick out. And I was like, no. And like, I'm the only person watching this fucking TV. Everyone else is looking at me like, look at this fucking nerd.
What a fucking dork.
What a fucking piece of shit. Fuck him. Like, and I was enjoying it so much. And I remember, like, right then and there, I was like, dude, I'm fucking going to be 22 when I get out of the military. I'm still basically a child at that point. I'm just going to go, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go be a pro wrestler.
Hell yeah, man. That, and of course, to piggyback off of that, that was around the time, too, where it was just the big anti-Roman everything, so...
Oh, yeah, they hated him.
They loved it when Sheamus cashed. That was the best cheer Sheamus has gotten in years.
Dude, I was devastated. Like, dude, I didn't like the Wyatt family over the Shield. Like, I was heavy Shield guy. I obviously love the Wyatt family. They're great. But, like, right. I picked the Shield over them every fucking time.
That, I think it was a 2013 Elimination Chamber with Wyatt's and the Shield faced off for the first time. In my mind, that felt like the closest thing I'll ever get to seeing Godzilla versus King Kong in real life. That match was insane.
Awesome.
It was
straight up
fucking good.
It was so good.
It like, and all of their it's the same thing with the Wyatts and the Usos though. Like, they always put on great matches, like Shield and Wyatts, or the Usos versus the Wyatts, or even Usos Shield. Like, also underrated tag team match was Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns tagging together. An extremely underrated match. I can't remember where it's from.
You talking about that moment?
It was
Where he has the point?
It's the Sister Abigail, and he points the gun as Roman fucking hits the spear. God, it's such a good moment, dude.
That's another one of those moments that's just going to be around forever.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Like, it's all about the moments. It's all about the moments.
It was just a one-off on a random Raw, too. I think it was the one and only time that happened, and it's absolutely iconic.
Yeah, there was nothing building up to it. They just did it.
No, it just was a thing that happened, and then they moved on.
And speaking of iconic, Era, I'll let you take this one. There was quite the iconic question that was asked.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, this question comes from us. Comes to us from comes to us from my favorite person ever, Dandy Dragons. They want to know if you were an iPod Nano, what color would you be?
Dude, hot pink all day.
Yeah,
hot pink. That's a good one. That's a
hot
good
pink
one.
All day. Hot pink.
I feel like
day,
it would
dude.
have a slight scuff mark in one of the edges.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or like you know how the money in the bank is always dented.
Amount of blood. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like dropped it in water a couple times. Have to put it in rice like two or three times afterwards.
But you could abuse those and they'd work forever.
Oh yeah.
The beauty of the Nanos back then. It looked awful and disgusting, and I know that the Tommy Vendetta version would be beat all to shit, but it still looked fabulous and it still worked like a charm. It played the same song over and over again every once in a while. Put it on repeat accidentally, but it still worked.
Dude, the joke that I always say is the light inside might be broken, but it'll still work. You know,
it'll flicker, but it'll turn on.
Yeah, it'll still power up. You're good. You're good.
If I can do a couple rapid fire questions, it's literally just a couple because they're ones that are asked often, but it's always interesting. What's a move that you, if you could never have it done to you again, what would that be?
Ooh.
Or a move where you're like, that hurt more than the payoff.
God, that's a really good question. I gotta think about like times I've gotten fucked up on moves or something.
I know a common one. Don't people usually say like choke slams usually?
See, I love taking choke slams. I'm a serial killer in that regard, dude. Like anything that I can get like good jumps on, I'm always there for it. It's when I like have to fully trust. Okay, I got one. I took it was like my feet were dangled off the top rope. So like kind of how Randy does his DDT on the middle rope, but it was off the top rope. And somebody just like hit a cutter on me and I landed directly on the top of my head. Like if I never did that ever again, it would be 18 years too soon.
And then what's a move that you absolutely love doing to somebody?
Oh, pile driver all day. And it's partially because people don't like taking pile drivers because like a lot of people get fucked up on them because people don't know how to do them right.
Right.
So like there's been plenty of times where I've like gone in the back and I've been like, hey, so my finish is a pile driver. Like, are you okay with me doing that? And they're like, oh, I don't really like taking pile drivers. And like one of my boys will walk up and be like, dude, trust me, he does it right. He does it right. You'll be okay. And then like I go out there, I hit him with like 2 or 3, like I usually end up doing. And then they go in the back and they're like, dude, that was the best pile driver I've ever taken. And I'm like, I got you, dog.
Told you.
Like, so I that's part of the reason, but also my backpack cannonball that I do, because it fucking sucks. Like I've taken it once and it fucking sucks. And whenever I hit somebody with it, I get in the back and I'm just already like kind of anticipating them being like, dude, that ate a bag of fucking shit is what that did. And then a good chunk of the time I'm like, you good on the backpack cannonball? They're like, yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Because the one time that I took it, I was like, oh, that sucked. Why do I do that to people? Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I got a lot of people to apologize to.
Oh, I take it back.
Horrible. I do. Like, it felt like I was gonna throw up and shit at the same time. Like, it was just. It
No,
was
that's
rough.
Oh.
It was rough.
Gonna come
And then, since you are a deathmatch man, a deathmatch king, if you will, is there an object in a deathmatch you wouldn't want in a deathmatch ever again?
Dude, carpet strips.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carpet strips
Really?
all fucking day. Dude, I got hit in the back of the leg with a carpet strip one time, and in that exact moment, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this ever again, dude. I think maybe Quicken Loans is like a good job that you can like settle into and like
H&R
get some
Block.
good money. You know, you just make your grocery store runs. You know,
That's
all that. Like maybe that's better for me. Maybe that, and then like. Dude, carpet strips and oh god, there's one more. Assault. I did a match where I got hit in the head with a gusset, and then I agreed to having salt poured on me, and
Ow.
the worst pain I've ever felt because it got everywhere. It was in the cuts. It was in my eye.
Oh.
Like, it's just awful. So yeah, I'd probably never do salt. Like, somebody brought it to a show and like put it out at the ring for my match, and I literally, as I walked out to the ring, I just grabbed the salt, like walked it over to like one of the ring crew guys, and I was like, you can take that to the back, and I just kept going, and like everybody started laughing, and I was like, dude, fuck that, dude, that shit hurts like a motherfucker.
I couldn't even. I've accidentally gotten salt in a wound. I wouldn't imagine doing it on fucking purpose.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those moments where I'm just kind of like, why do you do this to yourself?
You know, I have one final question.
Hit me with it.
And it kind of goes back to, you know, you were talking about why do you do this? Why the Legos, man? That's gotta hurt. Like, you step on those, that don't feel good.
To be honest, there was one show, I really can't even remember how it like became a thing. I did one show where they had Legos out there for me, and I
Like, are they
just
telling
was
you
like,
to use the
oh,
Legos, or are you just like, I want to do this in a match?
no, so the first time it happened, it happened. Like, there were just Legos out there. I like sold it really in a way where like people liked it, I guess. And then like it blew up where like they were like, oh, Legos is this thing, Legos is this thing, Legos is this thing. So then like every show I would go to, they'd be like, hey, we got you these Legos, and I started doing them. And I mean, they're bad, like they're not fun, but it's not the worst thing ever. Like, there's guys out there that'll be like, oh, I'd take tax over Legos, and to that I say, you're an idiot. I said it one time, and then I realized I like bumped onto Legos and bumped onto tax in the same match, and I walked in the back and I was like, I should fucking drown myself for that comment. That was awful. Because like the fucking Legos don't hurt at all compared to like they suck in terms of like you're like get bruised up and like banged up in that regard, but like thumbtacks is literally like just shitty acupuncture. Like, it's fucking horrible. I don't care what anybody says. Like, anytime you get stabbed with anything, it's not a fun time. Like,
What's
That is
that?
usually how that works, yeah.
A hunk of plastic is nowhere near as bad as a literal blade.
exactly.
Now you're fucking crazy. And I believe we got one more Twitter question. Again, appreciate everybody for the love on Twitter. Make sure you're following at 3 Counter Now Pod on Twitter. Make sure you're following at Tommy_Vendetta on Twitter. We got one more from at Maddie_BOH1. What are some of the dream matches you have that are both realistic and unrealistic?
Ooh, realistic.
That's a good one.
Realistically, it's hard because some of the ones that could be realistic could also just be non-existent ever. So it kind of falls into both categories.
Right.
Realistic death matches that I'd like to have. I want Nick Gage because he's the greatest to ever do it. He's up there. Like him and Matt Tremont are like fighting over first place all the time. In my eyes. So I'd love Nick Gage, John Moxley. Would legitimately sell my left kidney for a match with John Moxley.
I think that would probably end up being one of the matches of the year if we got to see that.
Dude, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like I first discovered him as Dean Ambrose, and I still loved him. Like I know people thought it was like a watered down and all that. And he was incredible as Dean Ambrose. He's fucking insanely talented as John Moxley. And I'd love a match with him. Regular matches that I guess I would love to have. Oh man, it's a toughie. I'd say give me Dalton Castle because I love his peacock gimmick, and I think that I would feed off of it very, very well.
All right, real quick, since you and I both, and I know Aaron knows full well who he is. How do you feel since he's lost his original boys?
What's that?
So how do you feel since he lost his original boys?
It's definitely a different vibe. But it's still...
What are they, the meatheads or something?
Yeah, it's definitely like a different vibe to it, but I mean, you always got to adapt. So I always if I don't like something at first, like I always try and give it like just a little bit of leeway. Because sometimes it's people inherently don't like change. Like we just don't.
Right.
It's, no matter what it is. Like if you go to like Taco Bell and you realize that they changed the menu, you're like, what the fuck, dude?
That's it. I'm driving into oncoming traffic.
How hard is it for them to keep nacho fries on the fucking menu?
Dude, for me, it's the chicken the chicken sticks that they do. The rolled chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I fuck up them rolled chicken tacos whenever they fucking come back. I'm like, dude, give me 16 of those right now.
Keep it on the menu. Keep it there.
That's what I'm saying. But like, so like people don't inherently don't like change. So when you have like somebody who's been on TV for forever, or somebody that they've known for forever, some little thing about it changes. They're like, oh, you can't do this. And it's like, I've caught myself doing it where I'll like, I'll watch what someone's doing and I'll be like, what the fuck? That's not what they used to do. And then like, I'll give it a couple weeks. Like, dude, when the bloodline stuff first started happening, I was like, this is fucking stupid. What are you fucking serious? We got to act like this is some fucking, we got to act like this is a thing now. And then like 2-3 weeks went by and I was like, holy shit, fuck what I was saying, dude. This is insane. I was like, so what? Now all the Samoans are just going to suck Roman off? Like, what? Like, this is fucking stupid. And then the way they were, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Hold on. Like when Cody came back and didn't get the win right away. And, you know, he lost at Mania to Roman and everyone was like, that's stupid. You just ruined all the hype. I was like, no, wait a minute. Hold on. They're building this fucking thing. They want him to suffer. They want their baby face to get the big come up. It's this is gonna be awesome. Like, so I always try to like take it a little bit on the chin. But yeah, Dalton Castle's one. Jody Threat is a name I don't think a lot of people will pop to, but they should. Jody is insane. She's in Impact right now. She's one of the best. She's incredibly talented. I've trained with her before. Like I've been on the road with her. We've been on shows and stuff. I just never gotten a chance to actually like one-on-one wrestle her, and I would absolutely love that. Gosh, let me do a tag team too, because I got a lot of tag teams. So. All right, tag team I'd like to wrestle that might be genuine. I'd love to wrestle Motor City Machine Guns. They wrestled a couple times in Michigan recently, so I think that might be like a possibility. And then matches that I know will probably never happen ever. I'd love to wrestle Randy Orton. I just know it'll never happen. I'd love to wrestle John Cena, also one that would never happen, and Mick Foley.
That would be
dude.
That'd be great.
I would saw off my leg with a dull butter knife for the opportunity to just sit in the room while Mick Foley was calling a match. Like, dude, he was on a show, just like a special guest on a show I was on this last year, and one of the nicest dudes ever, one of the most humble dudes ever, sat and talked to everybody that walked up to him. Like, it clearly wasn't just like a money grab type thing. Like, he was there to like actually watch things and like take it all in. And like, that's a very rare thing that you don't see with a lot of those like WWE guys and stuff like that. You don't see them being just like wrestling fans. You know, they're a lot of times money corrupts in that way, and like, it's just good to see like guys like him and Randy and certain people like kind of stay true to themselves.
Absolutely. Now I have all of these written down, and I know when they happen. I got a nice little list to cross off and put a silly little picture up on Twitter, just like Cody did.
Well, it's a known fact that WWE listens to this
repost
podcast.
that list, so I'm going to just start tagging all of them every day.
We'll do the legwork. We got
it's a known fact that WWE
asking
listens.
all of these people to wrestle Tommy Vendetta. Day 2.
Day 2. Day 3.
I mean, Mick Foley was just at Sarge's in Utica on Van Dyke, and
he's probably got a match left in him.
No, he's just doing like random meet and greets now, where he's just like, "Yeah, I'll be at this toy store. Come ahead, go ahead, come meet me." And people are like, "Yeah, he just chats and he's super friendly."
He just came out. He was gonna do one last match, and then his like doctors were like, "Hey, brother, like,
please don't. Your knees are silly, buddy."
It's not even the knees, dude. They're like, "Hey, remember those like 18 unprotected chair shots you took from The Rock with your hands tied behind your back?" Hey, man. So that's called CTE.
Yeah.
And what we don't want to see is you die from that. So
Tommy, have you taken a chair shot like that, like unprotected?
Yes. Oh yeah.
How much does it suck?
I didn't do it with like a WWE aluminum chair either. I did it with like a normal ass metal ass chair,
steel chair. Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's not the worst pain I've ever had, but it's up there. Probably
pretty damn close.
It's probably top 5, to be honest with you. Like. And, dude, I felt so bad. So it was my debut at ICW, and my mom was there. Like, a bunch of her friends were there. One of my uncles was there, and I go and I told her, I was like, "It's a death match. Like, I'm gonna bleed," and she was like, "Okay." And then I go out there, we're wrestling or whatever. He hits me in the head with the chair, and I put my hands up, obviously. And the crowd does like a ooh, and I was like, they want to see an unprotected one. All right. And then I looked at him and I go, "Do one more." And he goes, "All right." And I just I kept my hands down on my side. I just tightened my neck up. He hit me so fucking hard. And it probably wasn't that hard, to be honest. He probably swung it like 40%. And it just fucking sucked. And my arms like kind of like elevated for a second, and then I like snapped back into it, and you just see me like grab my head, and I'm like, "Oh, why?"
I can't believe you've done this.
And that's the day Tommy started smelling colors.
Dude, oh yeah.
Get it done early in your career, right off the start.
And the funny part is the gimmick. One of the gimmicks that like announcers will say. Because I did this thing a couple years ago, and I do it just whenever somebody hits me with them. Like, the trash can lids don't really hurt because they're aluminum. Like, they hurt, but it's not like a bad pain. So like, I can eat them and just kind of sit there and be like, "That didn't do shit." Like, it'll hurt, but it won't hurt bad. It'll just be like a quick little ooh.
Right. You still don't want to get hit with it, but
No, yeah. So I did a bit in a match where like I got hit in the head a couple of times, and I just kept going again. And the announcers were like, "You hit him in the head like that, it's just gonna get him more pissed off." So now, like, every time I do a match, guys are like, "Hey, dude, we got cookie sheets. You cool if I smoke you with a couple of these? We get your gimmick in." I'm like, "Yeah, we can do that."
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, let me get another pack of ice real quick.
Are you paying for the chiropractor this time? No.
I also talk all this shit like I don't want to do stuff, and I'm notoriously bad for just agreeing to everything. Like it was my gimmick for a while, where someone would be like, "Hey man, so I'm thinking about shooting you with a 9mm pistol," and I'd be like, "Yeah, just aim for the leg,
Please.
Like, dude, I'm notoriously bad for that.
Well, there we go. Got all the questions in on Twitter. Appreciate all of you coming on over, asking them questions, because I think if everybody's got their fill in, I think that concludes just the wrestling side of this podcast, because this is the 3 count and out podcast. We got a little football as well, and Tommy's notorious for some of his football takes that I've seen on social media. We can keep this a little shorter. I know this is going to be a little bit of a longer one.
Yeah, we're an hour 40 in.
What are your thoughts for this upcoming NFL season?
Oh, I had said it a couple weeks ago. I was talking to Darren, and I was like, especially in this kind of and the Taylor Decker signing kind of confirmed it for me. Like the re-signing, where we're on like a 3-year window right now, where we either will win a Super Bowl in 3 years, or who knows.
This is definitely the beginning of the Lions run right now. We got a couple people under contract. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, Panay, got them all signed. Hutch's contract is coming up. So that means Sam Laporta's contract is coming up. There's going to be a lot of people we got to pay, so we need to win to fucking win now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in my opinion, it's like the next 2 years. Like, people will say the next 3 years, but for me, it's the next 2 for sure.
Absolutely, because these teams are definitely going to learn the Lions a little bit more, and a lot of these teams are still going to be trying to steal Ben Johnson away from us and take him to a head coaching gig, because I think he is the man who's really unlocked Jared Goff's true potential as sort of that guy who will lead a team back to the Super Bowl and, maybe this time score more than 3 points, Rams. Thanks a lot.
Well, dude, I will say this: a lot of people who talk about Jared Goff going to the Super Bowl when he was like 25 or whatever, they go like, "Oh well, he had Todd Gurley who led him to." Where's Todd Gurley now?
Working the counter at Burger King, probably.
So did he have Todd Gurley, or did Todd Gurley have Jared Goff?
Definitely Todd Gurley had Jared Goff. I am a known non-Todd Gurley supporter. I think he was very, very overrated behind a very good LA Rams line. I didn't think it was that good of a running back.
100%, dude. You could have put me behind that offensive line. I would have had fucking 800 yards, dude. Like, dude's running through holes that you could drive a Fiat through, and people are talking about, like, this guy's like the second coming of LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, fuck off, dude.
No, sir.
I will say, I'm hoping with the wide receiver core this year, the one thing I noticed with Goff is he's scared to throw a long ball.
I agree.
I'm hoping with the wide receiver core we have this year, if with the deep threats and whatnot, he gets a little bit of air under him, and we can actually finally see that, because it's been a long time since he's just chucked it down there.
And people, from what I've seen from like the first day of pads and all that, like people are raving about Jameson Williams. So I'm excited to see because for me, this is like, if you don't do shit this year, you're gone. Like you're Charles Rogers Jr. at that point. Like I ain't dealing with that bullshit no more. So like, that's my fear with Williams is like, or it was my fear going into the off season is this guy going to be able to develop? Is he going to have his breakout year? Cause like Amon-Ra's had breakout year after breakout year after breakout year. Dude's insane. he's in my opinion, he's the top 3 wide receiver in the league. So like, I'm not asking Jameson Williams to be the top 3 wide receiver in the league, but like, you got to be top 20 if you're going to be
up there.
Yeah, like if you, especially when you have all this hype behind you, you're fast as fuck. Like I was watching some of his routes that he was running. I'm like, the dude's running good, solid routes. He's not bullshitting anything. Like, so.
Well, and I believe when they did a speed test on him, he was either at or above Tyreek Hill.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I genuinely can say I think he might be the fastest motherfucker in the league, dude. Like, just watching him off the ball, there ain't motherfuckers who be keeping up to that.
Hopefully,
Yeah, so I mean, if he has the hands on him, that's a scary deep threat, which means Goff can just be like, we'll throw the ball that way. Hopefully he'll be down there.
Yeah, and that's like, truly, that's what he's been missing on a deep threat. Because like St. Brown's solid, he's a great wide receiver, but he doesn't have the same ability to like break out like Jameson does. Like Jameson's fucking fast as hell, dude. Like,
yeah.
Hopefully he can stay off of FanDuel this year and actually play an entire season. I'd appreciate that.
Dude, let me tell you, the whole FanDuel bullshit, the betting on fuck
It's
the
so
NFL,
stupid.
dude.
It's so stupid.
It's the stupidest fucking thing. I'm like, dog, what you got? It's one thing if you're betting against your team. That's a problem. But like if you're betting, like if I'm betting on myself to get over 1,000 yards this year, why the fuck is that a bad thing? Like I'm betting on myself. That's literally how motherfuckers make it to the NFL is by betting on themselves. And when they actually physically try to do it, you're like, oh my God, you're a criminal.
How dare you, sir, tarnishing the name of the game?
Just trying to make a few extra dollars.
And I think the whole gambling thing is attributed to the Chicago White Sox back in the day when they had the Black Sox is what they were called. It was like in the early 1900s. They like bet against their own team to win the World Series and then tanked the World Series so they'd make even more money off of it and stuff like that. So like I think that's where like the sports gets the like shiver up their spine for betting and sports and stuff like that when you're an athlete. So it's very well founded, but also fuck off. Like
yeah.
You guys suspended this dude for what? What did it end up being? Like 3 games last year? Like 4 games?
Yeah, it was supposed to be
that?
half, but they only did like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, it was like a handful of games. And I was like, okay, what good did it? What good did it do? We still went to the NFC Championship. Like, yeah. Like, if you're going to put... And it's the same thing with the NFL punishing dudes for, like, wearing, like, the cleats and the socks.
That's so stupid.
What are we doing? You guys are legitimately getting all bent over and out of shape over somebody wearing, like, colorful shoes?
Because God...
How dare you have fun shoes?
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of the stuff that these guys be wearing is just it's for a good cause. Like it's not like they're wearing like I know Colin Kaepernick wore like the fucking the anti-police socks that one game or whatever.
Cleats or whatever.
Yeah, which like I get all that and like people not liking that. It's whatever at this point. But like, just motherfuckers be wearing like dudes will be like in blue uniforms and want to wear green cleats and they get fined for it. And I'm like, what? Like, maybe the cleats just fit them better. Like, what are we doing, dude? Like,
thanks
we're
a lot.
fining
No
a
fun
dude
league
for his footwear. It's 100% the no fun league.
Mm-hmm. So, last thing, I know Eric's got to edit this bad boy. We'll keep it high and tight right now. Too early of a prediction. The season starts in about a month. Ooh. Give me the Lions record for the 2024 season.
Oh, God. How many games do they play now? It's like, what, 16?
17 games.
17? All right. I want to say anywhere, I'll confidently say anywhere between 12-5 and 14-3. I truly, because everybody's hyping the Bears up to be something. Caleb Williams is going to be another scrub. He's a USC quarterback.
Johnny Manziel's himself.
Dude, it's not even Johnny Manziel himself. Name 5 successful USC quarterbacks that aren't named Carson Palmer.
Ooh.
Double it and give it to the next person.
It's like naming an Alabama running back who goes to the NFL and is successful.
That's
Like
not
it just,
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's he's one of those dudes like Brock Lesnar. He's just a freak of nature. Dude's 6'3", 240, and he runs that fast.
Right.
It's not that should literally be illegal in 50 states. But I don't think the Bears are going to be much. I think the Minnesota Vikings will be something in like next year or the year after. I don't see JJ, as much as I love him. I don't see him like lighting it up his first year. I think he'll be very, very solid, but I don't think he's going to like put up these insane numbers like people think he will.
No.
And I think Jordan
Love, he's going to get exposed.
Yeah, I also think Jordan Love was going to get exposed. Like, I love the dude. I think he's in solid. He did great for my fantasy team last year. So, like, no hate towards Jordan Love, but also the dude's not a franchise quarterback. He's just
Thank you. Like, wow. It's giving me so much validation right now.
Yeah, dude. Like, and he could prove me wrong. He could, because it's not like he had a bad year last year. Like, he had a very, very solid year for his first full year starting with Rodgers gone. Like, he was solid. But I just don't think he's going to be anything special. Like, I don't think in 5 years from now we're going to be talking about how Jordan Love could be like a top 10 quarterback of our time or anything like that. But like Jared Goff, I could genuinely see people like in 5 years being like, yo, the back half career of that guy. Are we talking about it?
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude's just turned it up. He came to Detroit on what people were calling like basically just a burial. Like, you're going there to die, dude. And he walked in, stood at the podium, and he was like, I'm fucking here to win, boys. Like, I don't know about you, but we ain't gonna be goofed. We ain't gonna be goofed like they think we gonna be goofed. And then goes out, wins at Lambeau in the last game of the year. And then the next year goes all the way to the NFC Championship. Like,
stud. Dog.
There's a reason why Jared Goff is getting chance at Red Wings games, dude. Like, and people can talk about Stafford all they want. Stafford ain't never get no chance at Red Wings games.
No. Mm-hmm.
Fuck off. Him and Kelly can go fuck off.
I respect Matt Stafford. I can't fucking stand his goddamn wife. I swear.
Dude, at this point, I don't even think Matt Stafford can stand his wife. She gets everything's Gucci. No one's talking about anybody. Like, they're all good. Like, Matt Stafford's just a great quarterback of the NFL. He's just living his best life. And then Kelly Stafford's like, so this one time in college I cheated on him because fuck him, you know?
Like, okay, wow.
Like, isn't that funny? Isn't that a good thing to talk about on a podcast and just bury my husband's manhood like that? I was like, yo, if that's my wife, like, she's walking in the door from that podcast. And I'm sitting at the table and I'm gonna be like, yo ho, sit down. We gotta have a conversation.
We gotta chit chat.
You just gonna air dirty laundry like that? Like, to the entire universe, to where they can just go and rewatch this all the fucking time whenever they want and just laugh about how Matthew Stafford's a cuck? Like,
yes, this is what we're not gonna do.
Especially in Detroit. That was my other thought. But I was especially in Detroit. I don't know if you guys saw it. Like, when that whole video came out, the amount of memes that got made.
Yeah.
Like there was like a meme of like the dude who's like holding hands with the chick and like looking at another chick, and it was like Kelly Stafford holding hands with Matthew Stafford, looking at anybody that's not Matthew Stafford. And I was just like, God damn it, dude, that poor fucking son of a bitch is just sitting at home punching air right now because his wife couldn't shut the fuck up about some dumb shit. Oh, God. I love Matthew Stafford to death. I'm sure Kelly Stafford is a saint of a human being. She seems like it with all the things that she like does for people and all the charitable work. But like, God, if you were my wife and you said something like that, dude, like we're fucking sleeping in separate rooms for a couple of days. Like I'm gonna need a couple of TV dinners away from you. That's all I know. Like my God, that poor dude. Shout out Jared Goff for not having a wife like that, dude.
Love that. Also newly married as well, right? They actually got hitched a couple days ago. Love that, Goff. No, see, that's how you end the episode. On a positive note right there.
Exactly. Jared
Because
Goff,
after all,
Jared
this is
Goff
a
got
family
one
show.
ring and he's about to go and get another ring.
That's
dude.
what we like to hear.
There you go.
Suck it, Philly.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what, dude, Philly here's my hot take for the send off. Philly ain't even gonna fucking get past for round one.
Damn.
Era, how's that feel?
We'll cross that road when we get there. Listen, Philly. We'll cross that road when we get there.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. All I know is the Lions got fined because they were practicing too hard. So
yeah, I mean, realistically,
that happened.
Realistically, I have blind faith in Saquon because I'm also a Penn State alum. So,
dude,
it's all right. He'll literally carry us to a victory, and I'm all for it.
Saquon get that residual Jerry Sandusky runoff because he went to Penn State. In my opinion, if you went to Penn State after that all broke out, you're just a bad person.
2016 to 2020.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! You got that Jerry Sandusky runoff, dog. Okay, wait. Were you at any point affiliated with the football program?
No comment.
Did you? No, I thought you just worked for the stadium.
Yeah, I worked for the stadium security.
Okay, you get a pass then. You get a pass.
That's a pass. That's a
and
pass.
I was a cashier in the dining commons, and sometimes I worked the dining commons for the football team. So I'll
give you. I'll still give you a pass. You get away without getting the Jerry Sandusky runoff.
Yeah,
that's why Trace McSorley didn't make it out in the NFL is because he had the Jerry Sandusky runoff.
All the residuals were still there.
Yeah, they were like, he's got this aura around him, dude. It's like, anytime, one of my buddies was a big Penn Stater back in the day. And anytime I'd fuck with him every time after it had happened, we'd be playing like NCAA or something back in like 14. And we'd fucking hook the thing up. He'd pick Penn State and I'd just be like, really? That's who we're going with?
How dare you?
All right. And then like the second the game would load in, I'd just be like, all right, guys, watch your ass. Shit ain't gonna be good out here.
Oh, no, you got to watch yourself in those showers. Yeah. Never safe.
Shout out Jerry Sandusky. I hope you're dead somewhere.
Pretty sure he is.
But also for the positive send off, shout out Jared Goff for getting
back to the positivity.
shout out Jahmyr Gibbs for just being one of the top 5 running backs in the league, and everyone's afraid to admit it.
Yep.
Shout out Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's top 3 wide receiver in the league. I think the only ones that you could realistically say you would take over him would be like maybe Justin Jefferson, and you could, I guess, possibly argue Jamar Chase. Maybe. I wouldn't take. I'd take maybe Jamar Jefferson over Amon-Ra, but that would be if I like just got hit in the head with a steel chair because there ain't many I'd take over him. We got arguably, I don't even think it's arguably at this point, we have the best tackle in the entire NFL, period.
Penei Sewell.
When I remember when Penei Sewell got drafted, my dad called me and was like, I absolutely love this pick. You have no idea what this kid can do. And then I was like, yeah, like he's that solid. And then I went up and I looked at a bunch of his footage, and then I was like, oh, he is good. And then the moment I was sold on Penei Sewell is when Aaron Donald grabbed him by the face mask and was trying to punk him in a preseason game. And he grabs him right back and like yanked him into him.
Yup.
I was like, oh, that is a 20-year-old grown fucking man right there.
Going up against Aaron Donald.
Dude,
early rookie year.
That's what that was when I was like, oh, this dude, he fucks with his balls out. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Like
That
and then, dude, you look at our defense too. Our defense is absolutely insane at corner.
Yeah.
Like our corners
They
went from
beef that
being
up
the
real
worst in the
good.
league to like arguably could be top 15. Like I'm watching
Yeah, it
Rake
used to
Straw's
be-
footage.
It used to be go ahead, throw a ball against the Lions, throw it anywhere, you'll get a touchdown. We promise. To all
Yeah,
of a
now
sudden,
it's
like you might want to
now
check
it's
where they
go
are.
ahead. Now it's go ahead, throw a ball.
Try it.
Like,
Yeah,
Try
we'll
it.
wait. Go for it.
dude. And honestly, I love the double corner pick this year. I know a lot of
That's
people
good.
were like pretty pissed off or like upset that we didn't go and get something else with it. I said it when it happened. I was like, that is going to be one of the smartest decisions that Brad Holmes has ever made as the GM here.
Absolutely.
Dude, to go up, you just locked in your corners for the next 8 years.
And they're two
Like-
studs.
Dude, and you got Carlton Davis. Like, you got Amir Robinson or whatever that dude's name is, who just looks like he's an absolute fucking dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, the only thing I hated about the Lions camp so far is they had Hulk Hogan show up and cut a promo. That was the
Yeah,
only
I
that's-
thing.
saw
yeah.
that shit.
I was like, come
Brother.
on, you guys couldn't have hit up Stone Cold or something. Like, you guys go
Anyone else?
Anybody else?
God, dude, I'd rather watch paint dry, honestly.
way to go, Tommy. You had the happy ending right there. Oh,
I did, dude. It's
Damn
still
it.
a happy ending.
Yeah, you know
It's
what?
always
Happy.
a happy ending, dude.
It's always
always
happy
a
when you
happy
can say
ending.
fuck Hulk Hogan.
When you can say fuck Hulk Hogan, it's
Hulk
a great
Hogan.
day, dude.
There we go.
Oh
And
shit, dude! Thank you guys for having me, man. This has been
no,
awesome.
hey,
Yeah, man.
thank you, thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you
Tommy.
for being on.
Appreciate you.
First
sir.
interview,
This,
and,
this was absolutely awesome, man.
and
This
probably
is so
a
cool.
nice, probably 2-part interview.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've been going for about 2 hours now. It's
Damn,
been
this
great.
is a long
Yeah.
one.
Good luck
The
with
movie.
editing.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is. I'll cut it in half. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, Era, shall you do the out? You're much better at the outro than I am.
Yeah, I guess I can. If you enjoyed this episode, you can go ahead and hit follow on Spotify. There's apparently also comments, but nobody... I can't find the comments, and nobody on Google knows where the comments are, but Spotify says there's comments, so I guess if you leave one, we'll maybe see it. I don't know. But we can definitely see it over at youtube.com at 3 Counting Out Podcast. And, hey, if you have other people that you want us to interview, let us know. If, Tommy, I'm sure we'll have you back. So if you have any other questions for Tommy, put them in the comments. I'm sure when we have you back, we'll have some.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed me, you can find me at twitch.tv/EraV1 or at youtube.com at EraV1Music.
If you liked me and you liked listening to my voice, just stay here. Keep listening forever. If you didn't, you can find me in your local garbage can. Just any of them. I'll be there.
Oh, that
Take a
was
look.
you. Oh, that makes so much more
raccoon
sense
outside.
now.
Allegedly.
Now, if you didn't enjoy what I did, you can find me outside of Tommy's house right now on my hands and knees, begging, pleading for a follow back on Twitter. One day it'll eventually happen. But if you did enjoy what I did, you can find me at youtube.com/JackalJoker or twitch.tv/JackalJoker.
And if you didn't like what I was talking about, go fuck yourself. If you did like it, feel free to support. If you didn't like it, also please still support. It would be awesome. I love each and every one of you, even if you don't like me. Because if you don't like me, it makes me happy at night, and that's what helps me sleep. It keeps me warm, and yeah. I'd love to come back on. We should definitely do this again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later into the football season, we can actually
Hey,
some
we can
football.
talk about that some more.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna
Let's not
say
actually
you
get
can either
started.
you can catch me riding a high during football season, or you can catch me in a deep depression.
Deep depression.
We'll get
One
you
of
at
the
a high.
two.
We'll get you at a high point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, catch me on like a 3-game winning streak. Because if you catch me right after the loss, I might be ready to fucking smite the almighty smiter.
That episode will be pretty shit or pretty entertaining, depending on how you look.
Oh, if you ask my family, it would be incredibly entertaining, but also just incredibly scary.
So, there's also a way that we like to finish up these episodes is that one of us eats a pin. And I think it's only fitting that the wrestler here is the one that does it. And I don't want to be the one. I'm taking a step back. I don't want to be a part of it. Listen, one of you two can do it, Mike.
Go ahead, Tommy. Pin him while you get the chance. Pin him.
I gotta hit the pile driver first.
Yeah, of course.
Leg hook. Leg hook.
2, 3. There it is.
That's it
There
right
it is.
now.
Tommy gets another pin.
Oh,
Another pin,
Because
dude.
he's
I'm
the
riding
man.
that hot streak.
Many.
I'm riding that hot streak.
oh,
Gotta keep it going.
oh. Okay, wow. No, that really was the easiest pile driver I've ever taken. That was
I
actually.
told you, man. Safe as
Oh.
hell.
Oh,
Safer than we
Safe as hell.
usually give it.
Fuck.
I just usually hit you in the head for real.
who punched
I
me in
hit
the
him in the
jaw,
nuts.
though?
Oh, that was
Oh,
still me. Yeah, I still got the hook in there. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I think you. I think you knocked the tooth out. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it
You weren't
happens.
using it.
It happens.
Oh,
That's a back molar. You're all right.
Yeah, you don't really chew with it. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. You see it when I smile? Am I good?
You're all right. You're all right.
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh.
You'll never.
Yeah, no, you're
okay.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have insurance, right?
Whew. No, not anymore.
It's like
Oh,
for
yeah,
you.
you turned 26. That's right.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
Well, walk it off.